Hello team, welcome back. And we have seen a couple of lectures on the extent report. Today we will see how we can create the report of only failed test cases. So this kind of requirement could be a quite demanding requirement because sometimes whenever you are executing the thousands of the test cases, you are executing the 2000, 100, 500, ultimately a good number of test cases. In that case, maybe you are not interested about the success test cases. You may be concerned about only the failed test cases. Just show me the result of the failed test cases. It will also tell you the success rate of your test suite or your regression suite. So let's suppose you are not using the extent report, you are just using the TestNG. Is that possible to filter out the report of only failed test cases? Although it is possible, but it will require a lot of coding effort. But with the help of the extent report, we can do it easily. So let me show you how you can filter out the report of only failed test cases in the extent report. So what I will do, I will create a new file, new class, failed test reports. And over here, I will copy the function or test case from my previous class. Simple. I will simply use this particular function and copy it here. If you want, you can change the name public void report of failed tests like this. Now you see what we are using. So over here, we are going to perform the two activities. Let me tell you one. The first is create a report of all test cases. And second, we will perform create a report of only failed test cases. Correct. So very first, let's create a couple of test case over here in your existing function. I will change the name. Very first, I will delete the earlier reports. Right, we'll delete these files, the report we created in the previous lectures. Now I will change it the name like full report hyphen index.html. This is the report which will contain all the test cases. This is the report theme. So over here, very first, I will update the document title and I will replace this string with a meaningful string like full test suite report. If you want to update your report name, you can update this as well. Success test report. Right. Something like that. Now we are creating a couple of test case. This is the very first test case, Facebook login test. Let's update the test name, valid creds. Right. Although we are not executing the complete test case, we are just putting up some log statement and the test status. But ultimately, whenever you are working with the Selenium, you will be doing the same stuff, although this particular stuff will be changed. And over here, you will be writing up the actual code of the Selenium and Java. So this is the first test case. And the final status of my test case is pass. I will copy this test and I will paste it here. I will update the test name login test failed. And I will update the test case title as well, Facebook login with invalid creds. We need to update this object here, 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 and here. Passing username, passing correct password. This is the information. And over here we are passing correct password. Right? We are just updating the log statement. Instead of the pass, let's put the fail over here. So this is the one test case we are failing. This is the another test case which we are earlier failing. Right? This test is executing fine. Let's add one more test. I will copy this, update it here. Home page test, and I will update the title from home page test to the profile page test. Profile page test. Copy this object, apply it here, here, and here. Use the pass instead of the fail. Simple. Facebook profile page test. Enter to the Facebook profile page. Click on the profile, test success. These are the simple statements we are doing, right? So as of now, we have not done any new things. We are just created the number of test cases. We are just increased the number of test cases and we are just change the test case title and all, right? Let's save your test class and execute your test class. Run as TestNG test. You see it got executed. If you will refresh your project, the full report index dot created. I will double click this report and you see the report is here. You are getting the report title full test suite report, success test report, and these are the test title. Facebook login with the valid cred, ultimate status is success. Facebook homepage test, the status is fail. Facebook login test with the invalid cred, status is fail, and Facebook profile test, status is success. It's all as per my coding. I'm deliberately failing the two test case and deliberately passing the two test cases. Now, what is my objective? My objective is I need to create the separate report for the failed test case. So let's do one thing. Let's create the one more object of the Spark, extent Spark reporter, like this. And what I will do, whatever the configuration I'm creating for the earlier one, I will keep it here along with the earlier report or the earlier object, right? I will change the reference of the new object like failed test Spark, like this. And I will also update the report title. Instead of the full report, failed tests index.html. Correct. Now what you can do, you can use this and you can use the config and you can set the things. So what I will do, I will copy this thing, paste it here, and simply just update the object reference over here, here, and here. Very simple, right? So earlier we was creating or using the one object, but right now we are using the two object of the extent Spark reporter. I will update the theme. Let's suppose the fail we are going with the dark. Success test report, I will update the report only failed tests report, right? And instead of the full test suite, I am calling it failed test report or tests report, like this. So up to this particular point, we are quite fine. Now we need to update a couple of more settings, right? What are those settings? We need to apply the filter on this particular object. And how we can do that? Let's remove the semicolon and use the filters. So you see, you are getting the filters. Let's do one thing. Let's keep it in a new line like this. Now after the filter, what I need to do, I need to apply the filters. What filter we need to apply? Let's be with me. On the filter function, you will get the next function like status filter, right? If you want, you can keep all these things in a one line. There is no issue. If you want, you can keep the things like filter dot status filter, like this. I'm just putting it a new line so that you can see that it is well formatted, right? So what we are doing, we are applying the filter on the object of the extent Spark reporter using a function filter. And after that, what we are doing within a filter, we are using the another function called status filter. It means it may filter the things on the basis of the test step status, right? And on the status filter, what you can do, you need to use this as status, right? And if you will go to the definition of this function, this will accept the object of the status. So we will type new status like this, correct? And we need to pass the status. So let's put the curly braces like this. You are getting the error, keep your mouse here, and you need to import the status from the extent report. You can see you are getting the import status from a lot of options, but we need to choose the status from the extent report only. You see, we have imported the status from the extent report. Now over here, what you need to do, you need to pass the status which you want to filter. So what status do I need to filter? If you want, you can also keep this in a new line. If you want, you can also keep this in a new line like this, right? And what status do I want to filter? I want to filter the status of my failed test case. So let's choose the status dot fail like this. And after that, what you need to use the apply. and put a semicolon. So you see error is gone. If you want, you can use the apply in a new line as well, like this. So this is the object which we got created, where we are using the filter, and a filter we are passing the status dot fail, and we are applying that changes. Whatever the filter we have put on this particular object, we are applying all these filters. Right, on this object we are setting the theme, the title, and the report name and the title. And over here you see on the extent object we are attaching the spark object. On the similar way we need to attach this one as well. So put a comma over here and attach this particular new object as well. Save your code. So you see, I have not changed anything within my test case. Nothing. I have changed the thing at a extent level, right? Wherever we are creating the report, I have changed the things at that particular level only. If you want to format this particular code, Control A, Control Shift F, and it will automatically format your code. So you see, the complete code format is done. Now I will execute this test case. So you see one test got executed. If I will refresh my Maven project, we are getting the two report. Full report index.html we created over here, and the failed test index.html we created over here. Let's open the both of one. Very first I will open the full. So see, this is my full report. The title is full test report. This is the report name. I will open the failed test index. And here you see this is the failed report, and we are only getting the failed test case. That report, the report name is only failed test report, and the title is failed test report. The report title we have supplied over here. Correct. And this is only basically listing out the failed test case. And on the similar way, if you want to see that it will create a separate report for the skipped test cases, then you can perform the same activity, right? Just use the status skip instead of the status fail, and it will create a new report for the skipped one. Or if you want that, you can combine the failed test and the skipped test in a single report. You can also do that. Let me create another test for the skipped test. I will copy the last one, paste it here. Facebook timeline page, test skip. And instead of the pass, I will choose the skip, like this. Update this, instead of the profile page, put a timeline page. Use this object here, 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 and here. Right. So although we created the skip test, but how we will include that within the report? Simple. Put a comma. This is the array. Call status dot skip, like this. Execute this. Run as TestNG test. Report generated. Go to your browser. Refresh. You see, you are getting the failed test and the skip test. The full report you are getting the pass, failed, and skip. Right. This is quite simple. So team, this is the way how we can create the separate reports on the basis of the test case status. Right. You just need to keep the different object and everything is possible. So you can see extent report have resolved the complex use cases of the reporting. Right. Just filter out the couple of test cases, just filter out the report of a specific test cases on a basis of the status is quite difficult if we are not using the good reporting framework, right? And only the failed test cases are the test cases which you want to see whenever you are doing the analysis. Although you are getting the complete report, but it is irrelevant for you because you don't want to go with the success reports, success test cases, right? What you want to see, you want to just go through the failed test cases. You want to filter out the failed test case and analyze those failed test cases and fix the code corresponding to the failed test case and again execute it. So this is quite easy with the help of the extent report, that you can separate out the test cases reporting on the basis of the test case status. That could be the pass, skip, failed, or the any other status which you want to tag with your test case. So that's all for the day. Thank you team. See you next time.